So my name is Sojbal Vora. I run the supply chain and procurement function for Manipur Hospitals. When you talk of developing a value-based supply chain, what are we talking about? Someone already defined what value is, right? It's, amount of work that you get done for a certain unit, amount of money. So when it comes to supply chain, who are we? What value are we bringing as a supply chain team, right? The first one could be a value to the business itself, in terms of metrics. The other could be value to our internal stakeholders in terms of how we get work done from suppliers as well as internally. And the third could be a value to the patient, which is at the end of the day most important element of what we all do in healthcare. And then where does this value come from? Again, from a supply chain standpoint, two sources. The first source is your suppliers. When you work with them and try and get something out of the suppliers that you can pass on into your business. And the other area is your own internal efficiency improvements that we talk about. So as we go about this conversation, my hope is that we try and unravel all of these individual elements one by one, hopefully within the stipulated time. So with that, I'd like to welcome all my co-panelists on stage here. I think I'm fortunate to have had individual domain experts within the vast supply chain, end-to-end thing that we have. So I'd like to start off with my first question. I'll ask of you, Nita. Where do you see, you are a pharmacist and you had pharmacy for, so you can introduce yourself, but where do you see from a drug and an implant standpoint, the creation of value, towards the hospital as well as towards the patient?
Thanks for inviting Indian Express for this panel. I'm Nita Pawar from Godrej Memorial Hospital. Actually, I'm working as a pharmacy head, pharmacy and purchase head. I need to see, our hospital is NABH accredited hospital, and in that value and quality, our this slogan is to provide quality healthcare to all at affordable cost in a rational and ethical manner. In that, value is also the most important we have to see. Like for the medicines like branded and these low quality medicines, in that we check for the values, means low cost value products are there. Then also we have to see for the quality. Don't see that low value product is there, means there is no, we can give any service to the patient. Those patients are not affordable. For them, we have to check for the service also and for the product's quality. That everything we need to check while giving to the, considering the value and quality. I think from my side, value is very important, but not that much as compared to quality. Value, if low value is there, means you are getting the profit, but don't see to that profit. You have to see for the quality and what best outcome we are getting from that product, what patient's outcome also we have to see in that case.
So you're saying basically the quality of medicines is really important and you look for specifically FDA approvals or GMP certifications, those type of things is what we look for in suppliers?
Yes, medicines, that it should be good, GMP practice should be followed for that, and US FDA approvals for the these implants, cath lab stents, balloons, we check for that also, and even FDA licenses, that whatever licenses required for these medicines that they have or not, that everything we need to check, and even for the companies authorization letters, that also we need to check, like for the vendors, those are there. They are whatever companies are suggesting, according to that only we are going. Because after, if there is a return or something, some issue is there related to the value of product or quality of product, then we can take, use their feedback from the company side.
Can I add in something like, we should not be the blind procurement guy whenever we get any request from any user or any doctor, you can say. For the plant specifically and the medicine which Nita was talking, we are checking the FDA approvals and other things. And we should check the DCGI approval also, and the product has been approved by the DCGI. That's important approval we should see. And there are the products which are banned in the few states and which are marketed in the other states, we should check also. And while preparing the implants and the devices, we need to check the ECGI approval, that is Indian unimported, anything is there. Second, the metal quality approval testing, when the last company has done, I've seen that in few cases company has like got the approval, they have launched the implants in 4 or 5 years back, and that time they went for their quality testing and that's checking that time. After that there was a requirement is there, but when they are exporting the implants, there is no requirement for supplying in India. Their internal quality testing is there, but from the third party they can manage anything. So we should do something like this. Like in my hospital, we are going to set up the biomechanic lab, where we can set up we can test the implant and their metal quality and everything. So we should do something like that so that we can deliver the better quality products to the patient.
So what I'm hearing is basically quality is number one. Doesn't matter what type of margins you're getting, what type of cost you're buying at. You'll always look for quality first and then look at those other elements. So that's important to note here. I move on to Manoj. Next question. Where do you see in this whole process the role of capital expenditure, managing the capital expenditure and other indirect purchases? How do you see that contributing to this whole value creation process?
So thank you very much for inviting here. So if we really talk about the capital expenditure, which is the biggest chunk of the investment we do in the hospital. So the problem we face is on multiple sides. The first problem we say which technology to select, which is the right fit for our organization, and how it is creating the value for the whole entire supply chain. So when we talk about entire supply chain, it's not about just procuring the things and just getting installed and working for the patient's benefit. So we have to ensure that our suppliers are also with us. They are able to provide us the kind of product and services what we are looking for. We have to also ensure that with the help of our doctors who are and customers, we are able to select the right technology which can go long term. And these days IT is becoming a very much getting integrated into everything. So you don't want to buy a stuff where after a couple of years it becomes obsolete or doesn't integrate with your system. So you have to be very, very careful that what value you bring in by leveraging efficiency into the system, and how good the effective treatment is going to actually work for the patients. Because ultimate aim is you have to reduce the cost, but not at the cost of the patient safety or the care, what we are talking about. So the capital expenditure has many dimensions to that. So we deal with a very small equipment to the big equipment, CTs, MRs and Linux also. And irony is most of these equipments we are not able to manufacture in India. So these are imported equipments. So we have to be very careful in the selection of those equipments and ensure their services are available after 7, 8, 10 years also. The adequate spare parts are available. And then also we have to ensure that we don't overkill in the specs also. So it's very important for us to frame the right specifications of the product, because sometimes we buy just a product where we are never going to use it, or sometimes we purchase a product because this looks to be cheaper in terms of the cost, but it doesn't have that functionality which would be required later on. So all this deliberation has to happen, and then we have to make sure that whatever is being purchased, it is going to give all across supply chain benefit to everybody. And I think this is where the value comes out to the whole organization.
So of course the first thing that you talked about was making sure we do the right selection of the equipment or any other purchases that we do, which is aligned with the business needs. That was one element you talked about. You talked about also about quality. One element I also feel on your area could also be in terms of the execution. How do you prioritize purchasing of which equipment, depending on which time of the year you are in? For example, if there is a revenue generating capital expenditure that is already budgeted, you might as well start procuring that right at the beginning of the year and allow your business to generate revenue out of it over the later part of the year. And all the replacement equipment can be purchased in the later part of the year, because there you are not impacting revenue. So do you have any view on that?
So typically what we do is, we categorize our equipments also based on the kind of need we have in the organization. And we also categorize them in terms of the technical and the commercial side, how fast we can do the procurements also. So, like we introduced when we was working in Fortis and Max also we do. So we have a green channel kind of a concept where the equipments where we think that they can be standardized also, and which we can ensure that there is a lead time specific. So we select that during the Q1 and Q2 we publish a green channel list across the network hospital, and the commercial heads sitting in the units, they are able to procure directly, so that the whole process itself, where we have been getting into the India, sending it to center, coming back, is taking long time actually. So we have cut down on that side. So that in the regular side it didn't happen. And it's a very cyclic in nature. So all big equipment you can't really plan. So there are sometimes some government regulations are also there. So you need to ensure those are in place also while you are doing procurement also. Sometimes the site readiness is also an issue. So what we do really is we plan cyclic as a different procurement and the regular purchase as a different procurement to be channel complex.
And then we have a third part of let's say purchasing that we do is a pretty large chunk is the medical consumables, and if I look at compared to pharma, sometimes it's even more than what you do, and it's also more, I would say, less regulated compared to what pharma is. So there's an additional level of complexity in medical consumables purchases. So I would like to have Rakesh to talk about what are the avenues that exist in managing the medical consumables purchases that bring a lot of value back into the organization.
So, first of all, we should be loyal to our environment and nation. So, if you see the product consumables, difficult to find the LDPE-free products, where these LDPE products are not hampering to the environment. Unless the products medical which are marketed by the Indian companies, there was not LDPE free. Now we are pressurizing to the companies to get the product LDPE free. Even still, the consumables are available in the market where you will not find this LDPE free product. And the patient can also get harm from those products, and the nation is also getting harm, because after the uses of those products, recycling of those products is very difficult for that. So we should look at the LDPE product first. Second, the companies are coming with they have launched the product, they have copied to the product, there is no study has been done on those. So whenever the new company comes that we have launched this product, I am asking for the studies for them. Have you done tried and testing something else? Have you done the studies with some hospital, any third party agency? So we should look for whenever we are choosing any medical consumer product or anything, we should, what kind of studies these people have done. We should not go for the cost first. Quality has to be first. Likely Joyce has said we should go for the quality, and patient quality and patient care is there in the previous session. So we should look for the quality, and while selecting this product, especially medical consumables, sometimes the part of the medical consumables goes into the body. For example, Follis catheter. It is in your body. If you are buying this silicone 7 to 10 days, it will be in your body. But if you are not buying good quality product and the tested and tried product, it can harm to the patient in any extent. So before buying to any medical consumables, we should check if their products are LDPE free. Their studies has been done, and what kind of customers these people are facing, and what kind of batches they are producing in a year. We should not buy the product if any company is not producing more than 5 batches in a year. We should stop buying them, because there is less sale in the market, and there is a consumption less, and patient might be getting hampered because of that.
So of course, you mentioned about, did you want to?
Yeah, actually, as for consumables, I can add something like patient's feedback and users' feedback. Like those who are the users, we need to check their feedbacks, and the proper certification is very important for consumables, and even proper training for the users is very important. As concerned with the cannulas and all IV cannulas, if septic cannula is going to come, then they need some proper training to how to use that. That is very important. Sure. Even for the inventory management, we can add VED and ABC analysis. That for the capital purchase, it's very important.
So I think you briefly talked about 2 specific things over here. I was going to talk about the internal feedback as well, in addition to what you talked about, which is what the suppliers have to say about their own product. But it's also important for us to make sure that we qualify those products in our own units with our users, and make sure that they are able to use it properly. Moving on, you actually touched upon the next topic as well, which is inventory, which brings me to the internal efficiencies that we talked about. So when we talk of inventory, yeah, and then of course there's a formulary that we have that helps us. So, what's in your way, in your idea, what's the best way to have the frequency of the formulary? How many items in the formulary, and how do you make sure you have the inventory taken care of over there?
Actually, formulary it should be updated yearly. Yearly, we are doing it yearly. 6 months also we can do updations, and it is according to the functions. Means for the clinicians it is easy to hand over. Means those who are joining new doctors, and we can hand over at one time. Just we have these formulary drugs are there. You just try to write from this. If doctor wants something new, then we ask for the new drug forms. We have some protocol like pharmacy drug therapeutic committee is there. In that we discuss whatever medicines new doctor has suggested, and is it if all are ready with that committee, then we are going through that, and then afterwards cost and all that everything we check before the first feedback is very important. Then afterwards costing is there, value is afterwards.
I want to add something in this. Most of the hospitals are now this is NABH accredited. So as per the NABH norms, you have to do this therapeutic committee meeting at least once in a quarter. That's norms is there. So nowadays, I think most of the hospitals are updating that formally on quarterly basis when the things are or new products or new molecules are approved by the relevant therapeutic committee. Before that, for meeting with the patient requirement, product has been approved to the new drug requisition form, but finally it has to be approved by the drug and pharmaceutical committee. And once it is approved by the drug and pharmaceutical committee, it will be updated to the drug formula. So I think most of the hospitals are doing on quarterly basis nowadays. Yes.
So I think one of the things that is also coming out is that while we have a formulary that's defined, you also need to make sure that how can that compliance to the formulary, how good or bad it is. So in my view, also making sure we have a team who does actually business analytics on what is what was consumed against what is there in the formulary would be very beneficial to come up with gaps, and those can be changed, improved upon as we move forward. Specifically talking now about indirect purchases, there's also areas that directly come and hit as expenses in the P&L. That's also a contribution to how we can add value. So in specific areas on how we can time those contracts that we have.
So there are a couple of things actually. In fact, one of the things I missed out earlier is the opportunity cost, which none of the hospitals today really get into that. So whenever you're looking to buy any capital equipment, and there has been some certain business requirements also, the general tendency has been that people has been taking a lot of time in negotiations and calculations and putting a business on that. So sometimes we really forget that how many days we have lost in terms of revenues had this equipment has been there. And related to that, when we really get into the contracts, so if you are not being smart enough to negotiate the good contracts, you are not able to get a hang on the total cost of ownership for next 5-10 years. You really doesn't know what is going to be the cost of accessories and consumables later on, what is covered under the warranties or contracts, what is not covered. So you'll be really ending up paying something which you are never using or budgeted in your payment. So this is where it starts hitting you badly, because you are not really estimated it when you are looking to buy. Now sometimes you purchase a stripped down version of an equipment, and then later on after a couple of years you have no choice, you have to go back to the same vendor, upgrade the machine. And this is where you end up going to the OpEx model also. And the contracts also, when we get into long-term contracts, so there has been a tendency over a period of years that many vendors, if you are not smart enough to hold on for their escalations, metrics and other stuff, they will come and they will start asking to increase for which you will not probably agree after a certain period. And also what we tried also recently, we actually innovated our service delivery model also. We was feeling that we have been paying a lot of money to one of the suppliers in the name of comprehensive maintenance contract, but it was not really adding any values to my own system people. So my biomedicals was working more or less as a call center. So we engaged them. We asked them that okay, let's share this expertise. So let my people do the front end job for you, and you only charge me for the spares whatever you consume. But it helped me. Yeah, so this is a kind of limited AMC, but my people are better trained now, so my response time is faster, my TAT is much better, and the delivery model has been very, very successful actually now. So this is some of the areas where we can get out some efforts also.
It's an important element, right? You talked about TCO. So rather than just looking at the purchasing price alone at the point of purchase, we also look at how many years of warranty, what are the costs for post-warranty CAMC for how many years, and if there are any associated consumables or equipment that need to be bought along with it, what is the cost going to be? So all of these elements, I think, if taken care of properly at the beginning of the contract award itself, I think it definitely helps, overall in the value creation that you talked about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we probably are coming to the end of the session, but any last thoughts that?
One thing I want to add in my session, the topic is value-based supply chain. So how we can add more value to the patient, to our customer. I don't call it patient, I call it customer, because that's what we learn now in the industry, that it should be called customer, not really patient. So like for a single example, like I'm taking from this, our customer came and was asking for the glucometer. We have sold them. We can add one more value in that. We can have his number or her number. Sir, we are sending the guy from the company, and he will come and give you the training for how to check the sugar testing done at your home. First, like people are coming to buy this nebulizer and other things, and they don't know how to use it. We should get something from we should have some kind of tie-up with the company so that people can visit their home and they can train them. Like in my hospital, we are selling about 50 to 60 wheelchairs per month because my hospital is a spinal injury hospital. So what we have done, whenever we are selling any wheelchair, they have a tie-up with the companies. Anything is coming, patient has to visit in few states. There is a limitation also of the area where the company can visit. But wherever they can visit, the area has been defined. There is a contact details has been handed over to the patient. Anything is there, any issues there with the wheelchair, the company will visit and they will rectify it there on the spot within the warranty period. Post warranty, they will charge for that.
Related to value chain, supply chain is very important. Like Rakesh told, supply chain extend this good relationship with the suppliers, and one time call should be there. No 3 to 4 times call, continuously calling is not for the value chain, and even for the follow up on time. Means these quotation rates they have to give properly. Otherwise, many times what happens, suppliers are giving whatever rates are quoted are different, and they are this invoicing is different rates. That we have to assure with the supplier. Then only you can reduce your values and all.
So I want to throw another light on the value-based supply chain. It's actually getting into very much important these days. So like we have a home care division also these days. So the challenges are extremely different from what we used to get in the hospital side. So here we have to ensure that the rental equipments have been made available to the patient at their homes. The services are being done to them. So you really need to have a robust value creation with the help of your suppliers and your end customers. And you have to monitor how the effective delivery is happening, and how you are able to cost save for your organization also, while without disturbing the whole ecosystem.
I think with that we will be coming to the end of the session. So thank you for having come here and raised the occasion. In my view, I think supply chain and procurement is increasingly adding a lot of value, especially given the regulatory environment that the healthcare works in. And there is increasing importance amongst businesses about the value being created by these teams. Many times these are called the thankless teams. We kind of work in that environment, but at the end of the day we do what we do for the patient, and so that's what brings us a lot of comfort. So thanks a lot for being here, and thanks for having also invited us.
Any question from the audience side we can answer? Any question from the audience? Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Anna, thank you very much. While I believe the rest of the